It is a battle, but not the kind fought in the world outside. The real war happens inside the mind, where belief meets resistance, where intention meets habit. That's where the line is drawn. Most people think failure comes from a lack of opportunity, money, or connections. But it rarely does. Failure begins quietly in small thoughts, in the whisper that says, maybe tomorrow. It starts when the same mind that dreams of success begins building excuses for delay. The same imagination that can design a better future can also build a prison of limitation. That is the hidden war within. Every day the mind runs two programs, the builder and the saboteur, the voice that says, I can, and the one that says, what's the use? Progress must be defended daily. If you don't guard it, the enemies move in. You've met them before. They live in routine, in thought, in small choices. They never knock loudly. They slip in quietly, dressed as reason, comfort, or caution. And once they take root, they do their work slowly, invisibly, until one day you wake up and realize a month, a year, maybe 5 years have passed, and the dream is still sitting where it started. Progress isn't stolen. It's surrendered bit by bit through distraction, neglect, one more excuse. You don't lose progress overnight, you drift away from it. That's why awareness is the first weapon. You must see the battle for what it is. It's not luck versus misfortune, rich versus poor. It's discipline versus drift. Every day is a vote for one side or the other. When a person says, I don't know what's holding me back, the answer is almost always invisible. It's not the market, the boss, or the government. It's the pattern, the way the mind has been trained to retreat instead of rise, to comfort instead of confront. And here's the key. Nothing outside can fix what's inside until the inside changes first. External always follows internal. You don't achieve progress by accident any more than a garden grows by neglect. It's designed, cultivated, protected. So the question becomes, who is winning the war inside? The disciplined mind or the drifting one? The builder or the saboteur? Progress begins when that question is answered honestly, not when the world changes, not when the timing feels right, but when you decide that internal resistance will no longer have the final vote. That's the moment the hidden war shifts. And from there, everything, career, wealth, health, relationships, starts to align. Progress is not an event. It's a defense strategy against decline. Every day you fight for it, you grow stronger. Every day you ignore it, you lose ground. If you've wondered why progress comes and goes, now you know. It's not because life got harder, it's because the enemies got smarter. And the first step to winning is to see them clearly. The first enemy of success is excuses, the most elegant destroyer of progress ever invented. They don't shout, they reason, they make failure sound intelligent. Every person who has ever fallen short has had a story to tell. Too cold, too late, too busy, too early, too much competition, too little support. But here's what excuses do. They give comfort to inaction. They let you rest on the pillow of justification instead of the bedrock of responsibility. Excuses are the language of retreat. They make you feel smart while they rob your future. They wear many disguises. Sometimes they sound like logic. It's not the right time. Sometimes like humility. I'm not ready yet. Sometimes like fairness. Others have more advantages. But the result is always the same. Nothing moves. Progress begins where excuses end. The day a person stops explaining and starts executing, life begins to shift. Because excuses and progress cannot live in the same house. One drives the other out. Ask anyone who has achieved something remarkable. They didn't avoid hardship. They ran out of excuses. They replaced I can't with how can I? That one change in language reshapes the mind. It turns limitation into problem solving. It forces creativity to step in where fear once sat. An excuse says, it's beyond me. A question asks, what can I do? One shuts the door, the other opens it. Excuses build comfort faster than success ever could. They let you settle for a story that makes sense instead of a result that makes change. And once you believe your own excuses, progress stops completely, because now the enemy has moved inside and taken your voice. I once met a man who said he wanted to be successful, but couldn't because his circumstances were too hard. Then I met another, from the same background, facing the same obstacles, who said he couldn't afford not to try. Same conditions, different conclusions. One had excuses, the other had reasons to act. Life doesn't listen to explanations. It responds to effort. The marketplace doesn't pay for intentions. It rewards execution. The body doesn't get fit because you mean to exercise. It changes because you do. The cure for excuses isn't inspiration. It's accountability. The moment you start holding yourself to results instead of reasoning, progress reappears. Excuses thrive in the dark. They can't survive in the light of responsibility. If you find yourself repeating the same story about why things haven't moved, stop and listen. Each repetition strengthens the excuse. Break the pattern, change the question. Instead of saying, I can't because, start saying, how can I despite? That shift alone separates those who move from those who wait. Remember this truth. Comfort will always try to disguise itself as logic, but logic without motion is paralysis. You cannot rationalize your way to success. You can only act your way there. Excuses give you a reason to stand still. Progress demands a reason to move. The second enemy of success is neglect, the slowest, quietest destroyer of all. One missed day doesn't seem like much. One ignored task feels harmless, but neglect compounds faster than effort ever could. The price of progress is upkeep. The rent for success is due every day, and it cannot be paid in advance. The tragedy is that neglect feels harmless at first. You tell yourself, just one skipped workout, one postponed call. But neglect doesn't add, it multiplies. One day becomes two become a week becomes a habit, and a habit of neglect always ends in regret. The third enemy of success is doubt. Doubt is the quiet thief of destiny. It doesn't stop you with force, it stops you with hesitation. It whispers just enough uncertainty to delay your action, and delay over time destroys progress. Every great endeavor brings resistance, but progress belongs to those who act while uncertain, who move even when they can't yet prove. Faith is not arrogance, it's preparation. It's the decision to keep building when evidence hasn't yet caught up. A farmer plants seeds without seeing the harvest. A builder lays foundations long before the house stands. Progress is no different. People say, I'll believe it when I see it. That's the language of spectators. Builders say, I'll see it because I believe it. Belief comes first. Proof follows. The mind must travel ahead of the body, or the body will never move. The fourth enemy of success is distraction. It steals greatness, not through failure, but through fragmentation. It divides focus into so many pieces that nothing of depth can grow. Every sound, every screen, every notification pulls your attention. Every tug has a cost. Progress requires concentration, but distraction scatters the mind until energy leaks away. You can't build a strong future with divided focus. Most people aren't losing because they lack ability. They're losing because they can't stay with one thing long enough. They start with fire, then shift, then scroll, then pause. By the end of the day, their intention is diluted into noise. Focus is a muscle. It strengthens with repetition, weakens with neglect. Guard your focus like treasure. Say no more often. Let silence become a strategy. Let depth replace speed. The final enemy of success is comfort. Comfort is seductive, harmless, even deserved. It tells you you've earned the right to relax, to slow down. But before long, comfort becomes a cage, soft inside, unbreakable outside. It convinces you that good enough is success. Progress never lives where comfort rules, because comfort and challenge cannot coexist for long. One always pushes the other out. Every life reaches that quiet turning point where comfort begins to sound reasonable. The climb feels steep, the goal distant, and comfort offers a shortcut. Stay here. It's safe. Safe from failure, safe from criticism, safe from discomfort, but also safe from growth. The soil of progress is struggle. Every form of advancement, physical, mental, financial, spiritual, requires friction. Muscles grow through resistance. Skills sharpen through use. Character strengthens through challenge. The comfortable person begins to drift. They lose their edge, their hunger, their urgency. They may still look busy, but the fire is gone. They've traded pursuit for ease, and every small opportunity wasted accumulates until dreams fade, momentum dies, and time slips away. Progress is not built in a day, and it is never maintained by luck. It is a daily fight, a disciplined defense, a life measured in action, not excuses. Feed your flame, Act despite doubt. Protect your focus. Fight neglect. Step beyond comfort. Build belief as armor. Collect proof in motion. And remember, progress is a choice, a habit, a war you fight every day inside your mind. Victory begins when you refuse to surrender to anything less than your potential.